Hello everyone, Nyonstar here, and I grew up with a lot of toys. And today we'll look back at my favorite and most nostalgic childhood toys. Oh, and Merry Christmas! Growing up, I was always carrying around a toy. The first I can remember was a Mechagodzilla toy, but I think that was the only non-stuffed one. The longest lasting is my favorite stuffed animal, Duplo. During one Christmas, I got a stuffed version of the LEGO Duplo logo. I named her Duplo and started carrying her around with me. And I still carry her around to this day. She's gotten pretty ratty, but I still love her. My dad got me a newer Duplo a couple Christmases ago, just so I can have a pristine one to compare. I wanted to make a whole video about her when I got her fixed, but it cost a lot of money and I don't want to wait. Don't think I have enough material for a whole video anyway. Moving on to more stuffed animals, I used to have a Doodle Bear. It was this 90s teddy bear where you could draw on it. I know they're not popular anymore, but it was a cool concept. Another cool concept was Pillow Pets, which are still pretty popular. I went crazy when these first got popular. I wanted a dolphin, unicorn, and a ladybug, though I only got the first two. I used that dolphin as my main pillow when I got my first bed. I also eventually got a mini unicorn. I don't know what happened to my dolphin pillow, but I still have my unicorns. I also really want some more, like the Five Nights at Freddy or Garfield. A classic 2000s toy staple is the motorized, slightly stuffed animals. I had a rabbit from Hasbro's Fur Real Friends, since rabbits were my favorite animal. It would move around and you could feed it with a baby bottle. Zuzu Pets were also pretty big. They were these hamster toys that would zoom around and talk. I had a pink hamster and a pink rabbit. Yeah, they didn't stick to just hamsters. I didn't play with them too much, but whenever I put them anywhere, they would turn on and make so many annoying noises. To this day, I'll move a box and one of these hoes will just turn on and start yelling, and I have to dig around to turn them off. Another 2000s toy I never hear anyone talk about was Zoobles. And no, I'm not talking about the Digital Circus character. I'm talking about these feminine versions of Bakugan. Little animals that would roll up into a ball and pop out when they hit a magnet. At least I think it was a magnet. I had one of the bunnies, and maybe another one I can't remember. I also had a penguin from McDonald's. I also don't remember which colors I had. Squinkies were also apparently pretty big, but while I owned some of these, I thought they were just Fisher-Price toys. And Moon Sand had a lot of commercials in the 2000s. These kinetic sand type toys were always more impressive in the commercials. I had this dog set and the sand would get in the carpet and never come out. I found Moon Sand everywhere for years. Getting back to some more well-known toys, let's talk about Barbie. I had a couple Barbies, like Swan Lake Barbie or McDonald's Worker Barbie. I was mostly into the movies, though. I also had quite a lot of My Little Ponies that I inherited from my sister. They all lived in the G3 Celebration Castle, though I lost a good chunk of my ponies in my castle when we lost our house. I'm still upset about that. I was also into Monster High, but I only had the roller skater Frankie. One toy I adored as a kid was the Glow Doodle. It was a tablet that you could make glowing drawings on. I remember the screen would bubble, and I'll never get the sound of the plastic screen crunching down out of my head. The concept reminds me of the classic Etch-a-Sketch, which I also had as a kid. Figuring out how to draw anything with the grid system was the biggest workout my 4-year-old brain ever had. I'm also gonna lump the Viewmaster in this category. A binocular toy where you'd put in these reels and turn them to look at images. I had the Mickey Mouse one. I also had some Paper Jams. They were these flat instruments that you can press on and they'd play like a real instrument. I had the drums and my sister had the guitar, but I don't think she ever used it since I played both of them. And that's all I have for today. What are your favorite childhood toys? I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. Stay safe. Bye.